Hey, if you don't happen to know who I am, my name is Recycler and I am the owner and founder of Define. Today we are going to be talking about eyeshadow primer. So if you have problems with your eyeshadow creasing, if you have problems with losing pigmentation throughout the day, if you're like, I have to reapply eyeshadow or I'm having trouble blending, this is probably the secret that you have not yet heard about that is about to unlock amazing eyeshadow looks for you. So what are you gonna need on hand today other than obviously the eyeshadow primer that we carry here at Define? You are going to want your dual camouflage stamper brush, and a good reminder anytime you're using any creamy products, you want to have a brush with a waxy coating, and you're going to feel that on our dual camouflage stamper brush. So taking your eyeshadow primer, mine is very well loved as you're about to see. I use this pretty much every day. You're going to take the larger end and load up some eyeshadow primer, and honestly you can use either end. I just like using the larger one because the application goes a little bit faster. And I'm going to use my Essentials palette as my mirror so I can see what I'm doing here. But here's how we're going to start. So I have the entire rest of my face done. Normally when I'm doing my eyeshadow, when I'm doing my makeup, I should say, I'll do my eyebrows, then I'm gonna put on eyeshadow primer, do my eyeshadow, and build the entire rest of my face around it. But for the sake of recording today, I am doing my eyeshadow last. So normally it's second in my makeup routine, just so you guys know that. But here's what you're gonna do. Take it and underline your eyebrows. So you should already have them filled regardless of which order you do your makeup in. And now you're just going to take it and fill in the entire rest of your eyelid. So gently going down. If you feel like it's tugging, that indicates you need a little bit more eyeshadow primer. Not a lot, just a little bit more. So if you feel that tugging on your skin, that's what's happening. It's kind of saying, hey, I need a little bit more primer so that my eyeshadow has enough to stick to. So now that I've got that side filled in, I'm gonna move to the other side. However, there's one trick that is an absolute game changer when it comes to your eyeshadow primer applications. So I loaded it up again, it meaning the dual camouflage stamper brush, and you're actually gonna draw a line across your eyebrows. And this is normally why I like doing my eyebrows and then my eyeshadow, because then I have to like blend this out. But anyways, this line is going to make sure that your eyebrows are level and even so that you don't have one that tilts down a little bit more, one that tilts up a little bit more, but just so that your eyebrows are at a nice level playing field and we're getting as symmetrical as possible. So now, same thing, underline your eyebrow. And this you can go over little eyebrow hairs if you're in between eyebrow wax appointments or you haven't tweezed them in a while. You can just go right over those little hairs that'll need to go eventually. So now I'm kind of blending it, and I'm going to continue on the entire rest of my eyelid space. So just applying that. Again, if you feel any dragging, that indicates you need a little bit more. And if you're like, Reese, my eyelids are pretty hooded or it's hard for me to make sure I get eyeshadow primer everywhere, here's what I want you to do. I'm going to put down my mirror. You're going to take your finger and lift at the tail of your brow, and that's going to help to even out that space so you can see a lot more of what you're doing and make sure there's no creasing happening. Because if you happen to have more wrinkly eyelids too, this does help a lot. So just kind of gently tapping here and lifting up on that arch or the tail of your brow. All right, let me look in my mirror, make sure that looks good to me. Perfect. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Now, we're working with a creamy product, so you can take your finger, and because obviously your finger is gonna be warm, you know, we're warm-blooded human beings, so we're gonna take this and pat press so that that line is not as harsh underneath the brow where we carved out, and then you're going to tap to smooth it out. So let's say I did my eyeshadow primer and I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't unload the dishwasher for the morning, so I have to go run, unload the dishwasher, and then come back, and then I'm looking in the mirror and you're like, oh crap, like there's creasing going on within my eyeshadow primer. That's where you just take your finger, tap really gently, and that's gonna smooth it right back out. If you need to apply a little bit more eyeshadow primer, you can, but then go ahead and apply your eyeshadow. So you wanna make sure that your primer is a smooth base for your eyeshadow. If you see any creasing, be sure to kind of tap it with your finger, and that is going to help warm it up and make sure it is smooth. I'm just blending that line. Make sure you do blend that when you're doing your foundation after you do your eyeshadow, by the way, or you can do that, you know, before you actually apply eyeshadow on top of your primer. But that is how to apply eyeshadow primer. In the next tutorial, we are going to cover a basic eyeshadow application, so be sure to stay tuned for that. But I will see you in the next tutorial.